The journey begins with a quiet breath, almost like the land itself is speaking. Arkansas is not a place you simply arrive at. It's a place that receives you, surrounds you, and slowly begins to reveal itself. They call it the natural state. But those words are not enough to describe what it feels like when the sun rises over its hills, or when the breeze carries the scent of pine through endless valleys. Here, every corner is alive with a kind of beauty that feels both eternal and deeply personal. At first, the land seems gentle. Soft hills, rivers that meander like silver ribbons, skies so wide they seem without end. But the more you let yourself observe, the more you realize that Arkansas is layered. It is a place of quiet power, where the strength of mountains coexists with the calm of open plains, and where the soul of its people is as resilient as the landscapes they call home. Our path begins in the capital, Little Rock, a city that carries history on its shoulders, but wears it lightly. The Arkansas River flows right through its heart, a reminder that this city has always been connected to something greater than itself. Walking by the riverfront, you see families gathered in parks, cyclists gliding past, children running with unrestrained laughter. There is a sense of community, of life lived slowly but fully. The Clinton Presidential Park Bridge rises over the river, and when night falls, its lights shimmer against the water like 1,000 fireflies suspended in the dark. Standing there, you feel the pulse of both the past and the future, woven together. It's as if the city is quietly telling you that even in places where life seems simple, there is always a story unfolding. But Little Rock's charm is not only in its monuments or its architecture, it is in the details. The warmth of a greeting from a stranger, the sound of southern blues drifting out of a doorway, the taste of food that feels like it was cooked, not just for nourishment, but for comfort. Every step through the city reminds you that Arkansas's richness is not measured only by landscapes, but also by the people who breathe life into them. Still, as inviting as Little Rock is, it feels like the beginning of a longer song, just the first notes of a melody that pulls you forward. Beyond the skyline, the roads begin to stretch outward, leading into forests that grow thicker, hills that climb higher, and valleys that seem endless. The city becomes a memory in the rearview mirror, and with every mile, anticipation grows. There is a sense that Arkansas is slowly opening a door for you, that beyond the capital lies a world more untamed, more raw, where the natural world becomes both stage and story. The hum of the city fades, replaced by the sound of wind brushing against leaves, the distant call of birds, the murmur of streams hidden among the trees. It is in this transition, from city to wilderness, from structure to freedom, that the true heart of Arkansas begins to emerge. And as the last lights of Little Rock disappear behind us, there is a quiet promise carried on the horizon. A promise that what lies ahead will not simply be something to look at, but something to feel. A journey where the landscapes will touch not just the eyes, but the soul. The city slowly disappears behind us, and the road begins to climb. The landscape changes as if the earth itself wants to show its strength. The gentle curves give way to steep ridges, and suddenly we are surrounded by the vastness of the Ozark Mountains. Here, Arkansas reveals another face, wilder, older, a land carved by time and softened by endless forests. The air feels different up here, cooler, sharper, filled with the scent of cedar and oak. Morning fog drifts lazily between the hills, moving like a living veil, hiding and revealing the valleys below. Every turn of the road opens to a new view, a horizon of green waves stretching as far as the eye can see. The Ozarks are not mountains that overwhelm with height, but with presence. They are humble yet eternal, standing as guardians of the land. Flowing through this wilderness is the Buffalo National River, one of the last wild, undammed rivers in America. Its waters move freely, untouched by concrete walls, a rare freedom in our modern world. Drifting along in a canoe, the river carries you gently, but it also carries something deeper, a reminder of what it means for nature to exist on its own terms. Its bends reveal limestone cliffs that rise suddenly and majestically from the earth, walls of stone that have watched centuries pass in silence. Nestled within these mountains is the town of Eureka Springs, a place unlike any other. Victorian houses climb the steep hillsides, their balconies overlooking winding streets. Artisans display their work in colorful shops, musicians play on the corners, and the town feels alive with a spirit that refuses to be ordinary. Walking through Eureka Springs is like stepping into a painting, each street a brushstroke of color and creativity. There is a sense of magic here, a feeling that the town was built not only with stone and wood, but with imagination. Farther along, a trail leads us to Whitaker Point, known as Hawksbill Crag. The hike itself is a meditation, through forests where the light filters softly through the leaves, where each step crunches against roots and fallen branches. And then suddenly, the trees open, and the world stretches wide. From the edge of the crag, you see a valley that seems endless, a green ocean rolling into the horizon. Standing there, suspended above the earth, the silence is almost holy. It is a place that humbles you, that makes you realize how small you are in the face of such vastness, and yet how deeply you belong to it. The road bends southward, carrying us away from the peaks and into a different kind of wonder. The air warms, the ground steams, and we arrive at hot springs, where the earth itself pours out healing waters. For centuries, people have come here to be renewed. The historic bathhouse row still stands, proud and elegant, each building a reminder of an age when travelers from around the world sought comfort in these natural springs. Walking inside, marble floors echo under your steps, and the scent of mineral water drifts through the air, as if the place itself is alive. Step into the warm waters, and time seems to dissolve. The heat seeps into your skin, into your muscles, into your spirit. Outside, the Grand Promenade invites you to walk slowly, to feel the steam rising through cracks in the earth, to understand that this is more than a spa town. It is a sanctuary, a place where nature and humanity meet in harmony. When night falls in Hot Springs, the streets glow with a different kind of energy. Restaurants fill with laughter, music spills into the air, and neon lights reflect off old stone buildings. It is joy layered over history, celebration resting on the shoulders of tradition. And as you wander through, you realize that Arkansas is not only a place of silence and reflection, but also of community, of living fully, of sharing moments that will outlast the night. And just as we begin to feel at home in this warmth, the journey continues. The road calls us again, leading to mysteries hidden beneath the ground, and to waters so clear they mirror the sky itself. Arkansas is not done speaking. It still has more to say. The road winds gently through forests, and the sound of the world above begins to fade. We move toward a place where the wonders of Arkansas are not found in wide skies or towering mountains, but hidden beneath the very ground we walk on. Blanchard Springs, Caverns lies here, concealed within the hills like a secret waiting to be told. Approaching the entrance, the air itself seems to change, cooler, heavier, carrying the faint scent of minerals and damp stone. You feel the pull of something ancient, something older than memory, and then the earth opens to let you in. Inside, the silence is profound. Every step echoes as if the cavern itself is listening. Drops of water fall from the ceiling, each one a note in an endless song that has been playing for millions of years. Stalactites hang from above like delicate crystal daggers, while stalagmites rise from the ground like frozen towers. Some meet in the middle, creating columns that look like the pillars of a cathedral, built not by hands, but by time. As you move deeper, the chambers expand, some so vast that they feel like hidden worlds. Light filters softly across the formations, revealing unexpected colors. Honey, ivory, copper, even faint shades of green where minerals shine through. Each curve of rock is a memory of water carving, drop by drop, shaping beauty in silence. It is humbling to stand in a place where time is measured not in years or centuries, but in geological patience. You realize that you are walking inside the heartbeat of the earth. Leaving the cavern, the transition back into daylight feels almost like awakening. The world outside seems brighter, the air warmer, the sky impossibly wide. And here, after the stillness of stone, the story of Arkansas flows once again toward water. But this time, to waters so pure they mirror the heavens. Lake Ouachita stretches across the horizon, vast and glittering, surrounded by the green embrace of the Ouachita National Forest. Covering over 40,000 acres, it is not just a lake, but a world of its own. Its water is among the clearest in the United States, so transparent that when the sun is high, you can see deep into its shimmering depths. Standing at the shore, the surface looks like glass, broken only by the movement of the wind, reflecting clouds that drift lazily above. Sailing across its expanse, you discover countless small islands scattered like emerald jewels in the blue. Some are no more than patches of trees and rock, but each one feels like a private sanctuary, untouched and timeless. Pull a canoe onto the sand of one of these islets, and for a moment, the world belongs only to you. The sound of water lapping at the shore, the cry of a distant bird, the feeling that you've stepped outside of time. The purity of the lake is not only something you see, it is something you feel. Dive into its waters, and the coolness wraps around you like a blessing. Every movement seems to erase noise, hurry, and wait. It is as though the lake is teaching you how to let go, how to float, not only on water, but on peace. And it is not just Lake Ouachita. All across this region, other lakes glisten in the folds of the land. Greer's Ferry Lake, DeGray Lake, Lake Hamilton, each one with its own personality, its own quiet magic. Greer's Ferry, where fishermen wait with patience that matches the rhythm of the water. DeGray, where families gather on sandy shores and laughter carries across the surface like music. Hamilton, whose waters sparkle beside the city, blending nature with daily life. At dusk, these lakes transform into mirrors of fire. The sun dips low, and the skies ignite with shades of gold, crimson, and violet. The reflections stretch across the water, holding the last light, as if unwilling to let it go. In those moments, you stand still, and Arkansas reminds you that beauty does not need to shout. It simply exists, and you are fortunate enough to witness it. Here, surrounded by caverns beneath the earth and crystal waters above it, you feel the duality of this land. Arkansas is not only the vast and the open, but also the hidden and the intimate. It is both the echo of silence and the laughter of families on lake shores. It is mystery and clarity, shadow and light. And just as you begin to believe you've seen its fullest truth, the road bends again, carrying you eastward into a land shaped by soil, by music, and by stories that echo through generations. The landscape shifts as we travel farther east, and the hills begin to soften. The rugged cliffs and rolling mountains give way to flat, fertile plains that stretch endlessly beneath the sky. This is the Arkansas Delta, a region shaped not by stone or water alone, but by the weight of history and the resilience of people who have lived here for generations. The soil here is dark and rich, nourished by the flooding of the Mississippi River. For centuries, it has been farmland, producing cotton, rice, soybeans, and corn, feeding not just families, but entire communities. When you stand among these fields, stretching as far as the eye can see, you feel the immensity of the land. The horizon is unbroken, and the sky feels heavier, fuller, as though it carries the weight of all that has happened here. The Delta is more than agriculture. It is memory. It is the story of hardship and endurance, of communities that faced poverty and struggle, yet gave the world something immeasurable. Music that speaks to the soul. Out of this soil rose the raw cry of the blues, a sound born from pain but carried with pride. The rhythms of gospel echoed from small wooden churches, filling the air with hope that defied despair. And together, these sounds became the heartbeat of a culture that still resonates today. Walk the streets of Helena, and you will hear echoes of this legacy. Each October, the town comes alive with the King Biscuit Blues Festival, a celebration that draws people from all over the world. The music spills from stages into the streets. The harmonica wails, guitars cry, and voices soar with a passion that feels eternal. Standing in the crowd, you sense the history beneath your feet and the resilience in every note. It is not just performance, it is testimony. But even outside the festivals, the Delta carries music in its daily life. On porches where neighbors gather, in cafes where old jukeboxes still play, in fields where workers hum as they labor under the sun. The songs are not just entertainment, they are memory, tradition, survival. They are the proof that beauty can rise even from hardship, that voices can turn pain into something lasting and beautiful. The Delta also speaks in its stillness. Driving along the highways here, you pass small towns where time seems to move slowly. Old brick buildings lean with age, churches stand proudly on corners, and murals tell stories of those who came before. The air is heavy with history, but it is not oppressive. It is grounding, a reminder that every step forward carries the footprints of those who endured before us. And yet, amidst this weight, the Delta is also generous. The sunsets over these fields are wide and magnificent, flooding the horizon with gold and crimson. The land that has seen hardship glows with a beauty that feels redemptive. It is as though the earth itself is saying that even in struggle, there is grace. As night falls, the Mississippi River whispers in the distance, its waters moving steadily south, carrying stories as it has for centuries. Standing on its banks, you feel the immensity of both the river and the region, as if all of Arkansas has been leading you here, to this place where history, culture, and nature converge. The Delta leaves you thoughtful, perhaps even humbled. It reminds you that beauty is not always found in grandeur, but in honesty. And just when you think you've understood this state, Arkansas shifts again. Ahead lie forests alive with wildlife, adventures waiting on trails and waters, and the chance to encounter the raw, untamed spirit of the land once more. The Delta fades slowly in the rearview mirror, and as the land begins to rise again, Arkansas shows yet another face. One of adventure, of open skies, and of wilderness that still feels raw and unbroken. The forests grow denser, the rivers grow wilder, and with every mile the sense of discovery deepens. This is a land that invites not just observation, but participation. It calls you to step in, to walk its paths, to test yourself against its elements, and in return, it offers moments of freedom so profound that they linger long after the journey ends. In the morning light, mist curls over quiet lakes, where fishermen sit patiently, their boats drifting on glassy waters. Rods in hand, they wait not only for the pull of a line, but for the silence that fishing gives them. The chance to be still, to breathe, to listen. Here, fishing is not sport alone, it is ritual. Generations have cast their lines into these same waters, fathers teaching sons, mothers guiding daughters, families building memories as steady as the currents. The lakes and rivers of Arkansas carry these stories as surely as they carry the fish within them. Beyond the lakes, the rivers call with a louder voice. Kayaks slice through white water, paddles flashing as the rapids toss them from side to side. On calmer stretches, the water reflects the forests around it, and the world feels doubled. Trees above, trees below, all mirrored in the stillness. The Arkansas River, the Mulberry, the White, they are highways of adventure, carrying explorers deeper into nature's heart. On their banks, campsites glow with the orange of campfires, and the crackle of flames blends with the chorus of cicadas and the distant rush of water. The trails are endless. They wind through mountains, forests, and valleys, each one offering its own kind of challenge and reward. Some lead to quiet overlooks, where the world opens suddenly, where the horizon seems infinite and the sky presses close. Others dive deep into the woods, where shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy, and the air is rich with the scent of earth and pine. Walking these trails is more than exercise. It is communion, each step connecting you more closely to the ground beneath and the life that surrounds you. And there is life everywhere. Arkansas is a sanctuary for wildlife, and the deeper you go, the more it reveals itself. Deer move silently through the underbrush, pausing to watch with dark, curious eyes. Eagles wheel high above rivers, their wings cutting slow arcs against the sky. Black bears, shy but powerful, roam the forests, reminders that this land still belongs to creatures older than our towns and roads. In the wetlands, herons stalk the shallows, while turtles bask on logs warmed by the sun. It is a world that thrives in balance, a living testament to resilience and harmony. There are moments here when the wildness feels almost spiritual. To stand on a ridge and watch an eagle rise on a thermal, climbing effortlessly higher and higher, is to feel a stirring in your own chest, as if part of you is lifting too. To sit quietly by a stream, listening to the water tumble over rocks, is to realize how much peace can be found in simplicity. These encounters with wildlife are not just observations, they are lessons, quiet reminders that we are part of something larger, something that does not need us, but welcomes us when we move gently. Adventure in Arkansas is not about conquering nature, but about meeting it on its own terms. It is about surrendering control, letting the river carry you, letting the trail test you, letting the silence teach you. And when the day is done, when the sun dips low and the forest begins to glow with the light of fireflies, you realize that these moments are not fleeting. They stay with you, etched into memory like carvings in stone. Night in the wilderness brings its own beauty. The skies here are wide and unspoiled by city lights, and as darkness deepens, the stars reveal themselves in astonishing clarity. The Milky Way spills across the heavens, a river of light above the rivers below. Around the fire, stories are told, songs are sung, and laughter carries through the night air. There is a primal comfort in this, as if humanity has always gathered this way, under stars, beside fire, surrounded by the whisper of trees. And yet, even as the night comforts you, it also reminds you that the journey is not finished. Because beyond the forests, beyond the rivers and trails, Arkansas has one last gift to share. A final reflection, a closing embrace, where all the roads we've traveled, all the waters we've crossed, all the songs and silences we've heard, come together into one truth. The journey begins to circle back, not toward a single place, but toward the feeling that has followed us through every mile of Arkansas. From the capital city and its gentle hum, to the mountains that rise like timeless guardians, to the hidden caverns carved in silence, to the fields of the Delta, alive with history and song, and finally into the forests, where rivers run wild and stars spill across the sky. This land has spoken to us in many voices, each one different, yet all connected, like chapters in a single story. As you reflect on it all, you realize that Arkansas is not a state to be measured by destinations alone. It is measured in moments. The quiet pause on a bridge in Little Rock as the river carries the reflection of the lights. The awe of standing at Hawksbill Crag as the valley stretches endlessly beneath you. The warmth of steam rising from the earth in hot springs, wrapping you in renewal. The echo of blues drifting through the Delta night, carrying with it both sorrow and strength. The hush of a cavern that has been alive for millions of years. The sight of an eagle soaring against a sky so wide it takes your breath away. These moments are not fleeting images. They linger because they touch something deeper, something beyond what the eyes can see. Arkansas is not only about landscapes, it is about what those landscapes awaken in you. It is about the reminder that life is not only to be rushed through, but to be felt, savored, lived with presence. As the road unwinds beneath us, there is a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the people we met along the way, for the kindness woven into everyday interactions, for the laughter that filled the air in small towns, for the music that seemed to rise from the very soil. Gratitude also for the land itself, for the rivers that continue their ancient flow, for the forests that breathe life into the air, for the skies that remind us how vast and beautiful this world remains. And when it comes time to leave, Arkansas does not say goodbye. It leaves you with something quieter, something more lasting. It leaves you with a feeling that rises whenever you close your eyes and remember the sound of water against stone, the taste of air filled with pine, the sight of horizons stretching farther than thought. It becomes a part of you, carried silently but strongly, like a song that hums beneath the surface of your life. Perhaps that is the true gift of this journey, not simply the discovery of a place, but the rediscovery of yourself within it. A reminder that beauty does not always demand spectacle. Sometimes it waits in stillness, in patience, in the unnoticed details that open only when you slow down enough to see them. Arkansas teaches you this without ever speaking it aloud. And so, as the sun lowers one last time over the rivers and hills, painting the sky in fire and fading light, the story closes not with an ending, but with a beginning. Because journeys like this do not end when the road does. They live on in memory, in the heart, in the way you carry them forward. Arkansas will remain with you, not as a postcard or a photograph, but as a living feeling, quiet and powerful, reminding you always that the natural world is not just around us, but within us